Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show, King's Court. Your boy Obasogi in the building.
Come on, it's your guy Marty.
It's how we do. Hello, happy new year. Is this our first show of 2024, Marty?
It's our first show of 2024.
Maybe we
Uh,
wrapped up the year big with like lots of content, but in terms of like show, online or in person, obviously you're continuously on world tour, as we know. Met man like Dennis Frimpong on the weekend, strength and conditioning and MMA training.
we
Shout out,
did.
we will be there. Like big, gotta give them a shout out. The guys at Octagon MMA doing their
100%.
thing straight out the back in the UK, Newcastle.
Come on.
Next Saturday, press conference on Friday. We'll be there Friday, Saturday, getting all the behind the scenes footage. Dennis
Yes.
Frimpong, friend of the show, showed us a lot of love. How was that on the weekend? Let's start with that before we get into the 297 preview show.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good to see him in his element over at Manchester Top Team. A lot of high level guys over there, as we know. We've spoken to a lot of them ourselves. He's ready. He's ready. He's focused. He wants to right a lot of wrongs. Obviously, losing out to George Staines in that Octagon Challenge final. He's bringing the smoke. He didn't want to go nasty. He didn't want to be the menace, but it was brought out of him. So I think we should be looking forward to not only Friday with the press conference, but Saturday as well. So yeah, we are
Yeah,
ready.
hopefully, I know that they're from the same cloth cut, but no kicking off the opponent the night before. Shout out Shem. I like Shem.
I like
Love
Shem.
you, man. Dennis, don't be following that example. We want to see you both in the cage, and we want to see you do your thing. Keyboard warrior versus keyboard warrior. There should be a belt. Forget the BMF belt. The KW belt is being fought for that night in Middleweight.
Exactly.
But yeah, I digress. We digress. Obviously, we're here to cover 297 taking place in Toronto, Canada this weekend, headed up by the middleweight title bouts. Who would have thought a year ago we'd be saying Sean Strickland, Sean Tarzan, as he used to be called, Strickland, defending the middleweight crown
It's
against a
crazy.
man like DDP. Come on. He would have thought that.
See, exactly. Nobody. I'm sorry. If anybody has
No,
called that
no
out,
Izzy, no Whittaker in sight.
madness. Madness. Like I'm still speechless. Like the whole thing is just bizarre to me. Like and obviously we're gonna get into it very, very, very shortly, but it's just one of them will either retain or be the new middleweight champions, and we might have two new middleweight champions since Izzy. It's just it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It feels crazy. It feels fresh at the same time. It feels exciting. Obviously,
Mhm.
back in Canada after all these years, we're based in the UK. It's cold. You're looking at the build up. It looks colder over there. It looks Baltic.
It's definitely.
Oh gosh. It'd be great to know. I mean, we probably need to speak to the next fighter. What does that do for the weight cut? Does it make things harder? Does it make things easier? Like, because in my head, I could imagine that if you're in a tropical climate, I don't know, in Abu Dhabi or somewhere like that, I would like to think that cutting weight is just a case of going outside. Because even when I was there back in October, you just go outside, you're losing weight just from the sweat and the calories you're burning. Does the body automatically go into I need to keep all this weight to keep myself warm mode when you're somewhere as cold as Toronto?
That is true, actually. That is true. One to ask one of the next fighters that we've interviewed, definitely. And Toronto, is it normally one of the colder states in Canada? I'm
I just know it's cold. I just
yeah.
know, from speaking to friends, like there's there's a lot of underground cities in Toronto to deal with the winter. Like they got underground malls and stuff and everything. Like if when you're walking around as a tourist, if you don't know where you're going, you're like, where is everybody? Like, why is the street so dead? Because the Canadians are all just bunkered down, hiding. That's what I've been told. Like, it's crazy. But Sean Strickland, DDP. I don't want to start controversially, but you know, I've obviously seen a couple of the embedded episodes,
Hmm.
and you know, we haven't really spoken on WhatsApp because I think I thought I'd hold back and wait until we jumped on the pod now.
Yeah.
But where did considering some of the comments that I made, we made, whether you know, I'll put us in the same because you know we're some of the comments we made about DDP and he saw because he saw our story. Didn't
Yeah.
say anything, but he definitely saw what was out there in the social realm. Just wondering where this girlfriend came from. He suddenly got a girlfriend in embedded, and I'm just
Just
like,
popped out.
I mean, I'm just wondering, put it out there, like, when did that happen?
It's true. It's true because I didn't see Gal in, back in his KSW days and back when he was fighting in South Africa as well. Like, but he must have been media trained like quick, get that PR, the PR in quickly.
Yeah, that's interesting. And obviously, I'm calling it out with a jokey manner, but I wonder how long it's going to take Sean Strickland to call it out once he gets the microphone in his hands.
That's very true. Anything that's out there, he will use to his own advantage. But yeah, no, that was obviously a bit of a laugh and a joke, but we still want to know. Obviously, nobody's come back from our South African fans. We still want to know if
Oh
it's an
no!
Afrikaans thing. Is it a South African thing? But somebody's already told us it's definitely not a South African thing. But let us know. Let us know. Get in the
Yeah, no,
comments.
I still, yeah, good point. Still fail to be educated in the whole mano, kisso on the lipso. So yeah, very keen to be school me, educate me. I'm here to learn. Every day is a school day at the end of the day. So
100%.
straight into it. Middleweight, like I said, title bout. Strickland, DDP. What you thinking? What's your early gauge in terms of like seeing the build up? Obviously, they had that mini scrap in the crowd not too long ago. Obviously, Dana White said, "Oh, that was my bad, my bad." Took the full responsibility for that. Um,
Yes.
our guest from Oceans on Mars, Angus, he's a good friend of the show. He was he's been keeping a keen eye on this, and we've been having conversations, and you know he's scaring me because he's like DD, you know, I really like his words. I really like Sean. I don't want Sean to lose, but I think DDP destroys him and makes it look easy. And I
Okay.
hear Angus's voice in my head, and I'm like, again, watching DDP's last few performances,
Mm-hmm.
guy is a destroyer of men.
100%.
Like, look what he did to Darren Till. Look what he did to Whitaker, Bobby Knuckles in 10 minutes.
Destruction.
Guy's big.
He's
Guy,
hench.
guy's a bloody unit. And again, he doesn't take a step back. He's always going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with power, and his technique is there, and he just looks like one of those hybrid fighters that is just solid everywhere. So basically, has Sean Strickland got a chance?
So I think for me, I have a clear favorite for me. Like it wasn't too difficult for me, even though I do like both of them. I actually, regardless of all the comments, stuff like that, I like Sean. He's funny, he's a good fighter. I probably prefer him outside of the ring than doing inside of the ring. Du Plessis, I probably prefer him inside of the ring than to do outside of the ring. But yeah, I think I agree with Angus. It's for me, it's clear as day. I think Du Plessis is just too much of an animal. We started just to look. You started just to comment on his size. He, as a middleweight, he is big. He is huge. He made Robert Whitaker look small in that cage. Derek Brunson, Darren Till. Darren Till's a tall guy. He was a similar height to Darren Till, like, and he's like a ballooned up, not in a bad way, ballooned up, but like a shredded tank top middleweight. He reminds me of a similar style, a similar build to Paulo Costa in that sense. And he can strike. He's not the best striker, but he can strike. We know that for sure. He can wrestle. Out wrestled Robert Whitaker. Out wrestled Derek Brunson. Out wrestled Darren Till. Obviously, he's not known for his wrestling, but when Darren Till came up against Robert Whitaker couldn't take Darren Till down, but you know, he made it look very easy. I really can't see past past Dricus and this. I think it's his time. He's not lost since 2018. He's just been on a tear, as you said. You know, I think some people, and he included myself as well, thought, okay, well, you know, he's going to gas out and whatnot, and obviously you quite rightly, when we had a review, I think start of last year, brought up, you know, his was it his nose surgery that he had,
nasal congestion, which needed unblocking. Yeah.
Exactly. And then since then, obviously, well, I don't think he's needed to go. He's needed to go past 2 rounds, you know, because he's finished Brunson 2 rounds, he finished Bobby Knuckles 2 rounds. So, but I think that's solved. My only thing would be, it's a 5-round fight. If you don't put Sean away, which not many people have put Sean away, you know, apart from, you know, Powhatan recently. Has he got the same sort of stamina that Sean Strickland has? Because we know Sean's got that stamina. You know, we know Sean can bang as well. And maybe just to tee up, really, who do you think actually has the bigger power punching? You know, who do you think has that strength in the striking?
I think on appearance, you have to say, I think it looked DDP, you would say, looks the more powerful guy all round. But Sean landed some big shots in Izzy that had Izzy in serious trouble. Legit. So I think perception can be a little bit twisted in that element, where you might think DDP's got the power, but I think Sean's underrated. I think he has the technique which makes his power maybe sting a little bit more, because he is very much, his style is very, very boxy, where I think DDP is good everywhere. I think he's still evolving on the feet and on that side. But yeah, I think it's close there. I think it's going to be very much battle of the chins, like whose chin can take it the most. I think looking at embedded, Sean looks like he's doing a lot of grappling and wrestling more than usual. So he knows what's potentially coming at him. And I think that aspect of his game is potentially very underrated, because he has it. He's always had it in the background. And when you watch his early fights, you know, he was about that life. And now he's just thrown into a old school fallback brawler on your feet, hands up like that. And it's a style, I agree, where I thought, well, with a style like that, you can never be a champion in the UFC in this age. But the dude has just, you know, convincingly beating one of what some people call one of the cleanest kickboxer and strikers in all of MMA. Yeah, a generational talent. Sean beat Izzy convincingly. Yeah. So again, don't get it twisted. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. And I think you make a really, really good call in terms of it being 5 rounds, and it definitely favouring Sean in that sense. But I think DDP's gas tank, again, I think that's underrated because of all the issues he's had over the years, where, you know, typically after 1 round, he's breathing out of his mouth.
Yeah. Gasping.
Innit? Gasping for air. Like Dory in Finding Nemo. Like when she leaves the tank. Serious.
It's true. Yeah, it's a very interesting one. And yeah, I know obviously I bigged up Dricus just before. I also want to bring up Sean because you said it yourself. He's an animal. What the performance that he just showed and displayed, by doing the unthinkable. Nobody fought him. Nobody even gave him a chance. Against Izzy. Yeah, it was a perfect display. All of the wrestling he's doing, great. I like to see that. But we've seen him do wrestling pre-camp before. We knew what he had to do with Powhatan is to do some wrestling. He was training wrestling. The thing that I worry for him is he goes out and he just wants to strike because, he just wants to do that man dance, which great. Again, come against Izzy, you did it. Boom. You didn't even need to use your wrestling against Izzy. Fair play.
But was Izzy ever going to throw wrestling out there? DDP will. That's the thing.
Exactly. And that's the point. DDP is not. I just listened to an interview he did with John Anik, a one-on-one, and he talks a lot of sense. He said a lot of things that don't make sense in the past, but on the fight game, he talks sense. He talked about, John Anik asked him about, did you, when you saw Sean Strickland beat Izzy, in your head, was there a bit of adjustment getting used to a new opponent? He was just like, no, he says as soon as he saw that, he was shocked. But my goal is to be the undisputed champion. Once Izzy lost, Izzy's forgot about it. He says he doesn't need to fight Izzy again in his whole life. Like, he's just after that goal, he's just after that belt, and he'll do whatever it takes, whether he likes you, whether you get under his skin or not, to win. And I think that sort of mentality is a great mentality, because he knows he can utilize all of his skills and when to utilize all of his skills. Whereas Sean, I think Sean knows, but sometimes he's just, I think that masculinity that Sean exudes, I think that comes and that takes over sometimes. And would it may be its downfall? Maybe.
But on that, I think, where's that saying? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I think that is very much Sean Strickland's mentality. The way he speaks to Nina, he's like, Nina will be like, oh, here's the champion. I'm introducing the middleweight champion. He's like, yeah, for now. Like, I'm like, what? And she's like, why do you always say like, oh, for now or for the moment? And he's like, well, I'm not going to be the champion forever. I'm going to enjoy the moment while I've got the belt, but someone eventually is going to beat me. And then he fires some shots at Izzy when, like look at Izzy. I mean, he was champion and walking around with his entourage. But then, he started ranking off his dog and painting his nails and he lost the belt. That's what he said. I'm not even paraphrasing. He's like, so.
It's a great accent, by the way. It's a great. I close my eyes. It's Sean Strickland.
So Nina, I really like you. We have a lot of fun together. But while I'm champ. But it's true. And I'm thinking that for me makes him dangerous, because it means he's not fighting with pressure. Usually, a champion feels the pressure, and hence why we see shocks, because sometimes it gets to an element where that DDP, like it's all about the gold, can then flip and become, I can't lose the gold. I've got this far. Like, if like everyone's trying to take the gold from me and go into a fight, I play safe. And let's be honest, there were some occasions where Izzy played safe, where Izzy just thought, I'm going to do enough to win. Hence why we had the most boring type fight in history against I forgot the Cuban, against
Yoel. Yeah,
exactly. Whereas when you're the challenger and you're a hungry challenger, that's not your mentality. Your mentality is to take what the other man has. So for me to see Sean Strickland with that, I'm here for a good time, not a long time mentality, I'm like, he could be a different champion. He could be a champion who knows it's just this season for now, but that actually makes him more dangerous, because he's not feeling the pressure of, I need to hold on to this belt, I need to hold on to these pay-per-view points. He obviously doesn't care about the money. He hasn't, because it hasn't changed him. You look at him, he lives in the same place, he's got the same mates, he shoots the same guns. He's not suddenly changed and, rolling with personalities or rappers or NBA stars or NFL stars. When people recognize him, he's like, oh, yeah, that's me. It's almost like he forgets the champion. He just goes around his business as usual. A little bit like Volk, a little bit, but I think Volk has started to feel the pressure now, because folks now think legacy. Sean's not thinking that. And I think that makes him very dangerous. I think that makes him underestimated as well.
That's very interesting, because now that you've said that, I think it's like a double-edged sword. Whereas I agree with you, but also on the other hand, that's what can make him volatile, what can make him lose it quicker as well. Because he's there for a good time. He wants to put on a show. He just wants to fight. I think when you're the champion, I think sometimes what Izzy did, in terms of fighting safe, not to lose, it's not good for the fans, it's not good for the show. But if you want to be champion a long time, I'm sorry, you've got to fight that way sometimes. You even see George St. Pierre, some of his fights, George St. Pierre had fought very, very safe, very, very safe, that got him into trouble and got him into fights that people actually thought he lost. Like the one with Johnny Hendricks, even though I think Johnny Hendricks just,
outclassed on that one, 100%. Look at the faces at the end. Wow, that's not the face of a winner, is it?
Exactly. Where I think sometimes you make mistakes by doing that. I think Dricus now, Dricus in terms of, he's putting pressure on himself, but I think his desire will get him to the gold. I think we'll get to the gold. After that, then I agree with you. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. Your things change. Everybody puts a lot of pressure. It does change, and I agree with you there. So I think Sean can come out and fight with the freedom that, hey, this is me, this is how I fight, which is good. And I think that's what gives the fans entertainment, which is what I love. But also, he just needs to remember that by doing that, don't don't neglect some of your skills. That's all I'm saying for him. But yeah, he's a real one. Like when you look at the UFC roster and think who was one of the realest MFers about, it's him because of the stuff that you just said. He doesn't change. He doesn't care. Stuff that he says in terms of all the smack talk, and actually Dricus said that actually he doesn't think he smacks talk, he just goes on rants, which he does. He just goes on rants about certain topics and gets him into trouble and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to go under Dricus' skin. I don't think it is, which I don't think Sean does it to get under somebody else's skin, but I think sometimes he can use that to his advantage. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
Oh, I would say, based on the conversation, clearly you're leaning DDP in terms of your pick.
I will say my pick right here, right now. No disrespect, Sean Strickland, you're a great fighter. I just got a feeling, again, destiny aligns. We're going to have an African champion, a South African champion. DDP.
Oh gosh, mate! Look, the guy is champion. The champion has a name. He's Sean Strickland. None of us expected it. By the way, if there's any ladies watching, trust me, no homo. Go back and watch Sean Strickland's early fights. The dude is a good-looking dude. He does not look the same. Tarzan. I was like, he looked exactly like Tarzan.
Exactly.
Obviously, the fighting game hasn't done him well because you look at him now and you're like, what? I'm always thinking, are you sure this is the same person? I want to see a DNA test. The guy's hair, the jawline, everything. I was like, geez Louise, when I saw his early fights, I was like, what? That's Sean Stickland. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. No homo, like I said. But I'm going with Sean Stickland.
Yay.
Because I'm still in shock that he's got the belt. And I want to give the belt the respect that the fact that he beat Izzy. And he beat Izzy in the style he beat Izzy. So I agree with your points about, DDP and the hunger and everything else. But I think we're going to see a slight, all I said, Sean Strickland hasn't changed and so on. I think, and I agree with your point, there has to be a slight tweak if he wants to hold on to the belt and not just have won it and then to just give it to the next, probably in his word, the next foreigner from South Africa. Just comes along, I'm an American fighting a South African in Canada. Like, no, like, I don't, because I want to see him put a bit of respect on the belt and not just make it a hot potato and change hands for, from Izzy to Pereira to Izzy to Sean to DDP. Nah, that's too much. All in the space of about 15 months. Nah. So I want the tweak and the only tweak I want to see is Sean stick to the game plan. Mm-hmm. And if DDP is coming forward, and he will, and he's coming for that grappling game, Sean is 100% ready for him and is going to surprise the world again. So I'm giving Sean Strickland that champion respect where I think there will be a tweak, there will be a game plan, and he's going to have enough to handle DDP and take him into the championship rounds. And like you fear, make it really count then.
Come on, I like it. I like it when we pick different people. I like it when it's that when it's that blue account, blue and the red account. Yeah.
Plus again, conversation with Angus and I, and this is something we're completely aligned on. And I think you kind of touched on it. I don't like DDP outside the ring. I think he's a bit of a fraud. He's a bit fake in terms of her personality. Even when you look at his socials and the messaging doesn't really align with what comes out of his mouth. I know we see that across the board, but then you talk about Sean being the realest MF, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want someone real who you can buy at face value to do his thing, as opposed to someone I could be wrong, but outside of maybe South Africa and his die-hard core fans, is he someone that the casuals are going to fall in love with and like? And I don't think he is. I think not. I think it's, again, no offense. The girlfriend, where's that come from? Is that because of the noise on socials or the noise that you've seen out there? If she's a new girlfriend, then great, like announce her to the world and say, hey, we've just started dating. Or even if she's a new girlfriend, you probably wouldn't do that because you've only been dating her a month, but yet you're going to throw out and embedded and then you know, your wife might see that and be like, "What? Who's that chick you had in embedded after a month of dating?" Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. Private life is private life at the end of the day, but I just feel like his I don't know, his philosophy. If you want to talk about philosophy, like Man United, I can't see the identity. I'm just confused. I don't know
Why
what I'm
now?
looking.
Why
Where,
now?
where's the identity? Where's the philosophy? So for me, I think, yeah, I think Sean will hopefully do enough to still make it entertaining for the fans, which he wants to do, but tweak it enough for his camp to come up with a game plan that nullifies DDP's game plan.
Fair play. Fair play. I think what we agree on is it's going to be a barnstormer. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I think the arena's going to go mad. I think it's going to be an atmosphere. I think it's going to be loud. I think it's going to be, look, they're going to be hungry for, you know, a good headliner, considering how long they've been waiting for the UFC to go back there. And I think the build up to it has been spicy enough to get a few people who wouldn't probably be interested watching. I think it's going to be a fun fight. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And at the moment, Sean Strickland is the odds favorite.
See, that's wild. Well, no, obviously it's not wild. Sorry, it's not wild. But you know, I can make a little bit of money here. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, that is our headline of the middleweight title bouts.
Yes.
Picks are in. Right, I messaged you. I couldn't even hold back. Again, watching Embedded, looking at the old fights, getting prepped for the women's bantamweight title bout. I'm just gonna start with Myra Bueno Silva is going to absolutely destroy Raquel Pennington in my eyes.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a one-way destruction.
Wow. Okay. You know, you said that from early on. So is this just from obviously the stuff that you've been seeing, the stuff you've been watching, everything like that?
I think it's chalk and cheese. You know, Pennington is like tough.
Mm-hmm.
She's tough. I just think Silva is just good everywhere. I just think she looks like she's got the power advantage significantly. I think it's going to end up being quite bloody if it lasts. I think Pennington, as in one way bloody, Pennington's just going to get, because I think Pennington I can't visualize her being knocked out, but I can visualize her being a bloody mess, and then Silva rear naked choke, just slipping under the neck with helped by all the blood, and just slipping it underneath, just taking her out. I don't think it gets past round 3. I'll be shocked.
Hey, okay, no, that's interesting. That is interesting. I mean, I've not seen much of Bueno at all, really. I think I saw a fight against Holly Holm. I think I've seen a couple of other fights as well, but yeah, and Raquel Pennington, I've seen quite a few of her fights. I do like, you know, Rocky there. Watched her back in the day when she was on the Ultimate Fighter under Miesha Tate. I wanted to see her do good. You know, I think she's more of an all-rounder. You know, her ground game is not as elite as obviously Bueno's is, and I think that's where I think the gaping differentials lie. I think Bueno's got a better ground game. The submissions, she's got more submission victories as well. But I think Rocky on the feet, Rocky hold her own on the feet, and I think I agree with you, it will be bloody, but I don't think it'll be one way. And I think we might be in for a little bit of a, you know.
Also, go back and watch what Silva did to Holm. Go back.
Yeah, that's true.
What was it? Standing choke?
Yeah.
Are you nuts? Second round. And the sweat is just coming in and you're doing that to a former world champ. Flipping heck.
It's not the same Holly, though. It's not the same Holly.
I get that. I just think, you know, Pennington, I'm just going to quickly have a look at her record now. I believe she's on a 5-fight win streak.
Rocky Pennington.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, girl.
She beat Vieira last. Oh gosh, she hasn't fought since what? Really? She hasn't fought since Jan last year. That's not great. Split decision that. And again, I'm looking at her finishes. I'm like, okay, split decision her last fight. And then Ladd, your mate, Aspen Ladd versus Pennington. decision, unanimous. Pennington versus Chiazon, submission. So she got a submission there. A lot of, and then before that is, I'm not going to go through every fight. It's decision, unanimous, unanimous. You get my point.
Yeah.
She's a bit of this. She's not putting people away.
100%. That's true. That's very true.
Where I think you touched on it. Silva, submission, assassin. Submission assassin. She came through the Contender Series, destroyed everyone in that, came into the UFC, and has just carried on. I'm looking at home, sub. Fight before that, sub. Second round. Fight before that, submission. First round. Then she's got a decision. Yeah, but her last three, they're not seeing the final bell. She's being clinical.
That's true, but
3 submissions in a row in the UFC. She's putting people to sleep.
But we also have to compare the level of competition she's fought against. Raquel Pennington, the names that she has fought against, I'm sorry, Bueno has not fought anybody even close to. She's fought Nunes. Nunes finished her, but only in the fifth. So Nunes doesn't take 5 rounds to finish anyone. Like really and truly, like she gets rid of them goddamn quick time. You know, Nunes.
No, I'm saying that Pennington's tough. That's what I'm giving her, but because in my eyes, she's not a finisher. She's I'm going to get to the end and get that decision. I don't think Silva's going to allow her to do that. I think Silva's going to be like, I need to, like, her mentality is I'm going to get you out of here. Where Raquel's will be, I'm going to tough it out, take your worst and take you to the end and then, take you to the trenches. I can't remember the last time I saw Pennington really like take it to someone and like knock them out, like finish them. That's my point. That's why I think Silva, I get it, 100% I agree with you. It's about levels and who you fought and everything else. But, Silva's confidence from finishing off home, still a name, still a former champion. Pennington's never been a champ, no offense. Silva's going to have that elevated confidence level of, it's my time.
It's true. It's very true. I agree with you.
You'll see my argument when we do the picks for 2024 why I'm backing Silva so hard. She needs to win the battle.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's a whole different landscape, isn't it, for women's bantamweight? Yeah.
She's also odds-on favorite right now as well.
Who? Raquel Pennington?
No, Silva. Yeah.
I win some money this weekend. If I was a betting man, I would be winning money. But anyway, yeah, fair play. We are split on that.
What do you see, like, very quickly, what do you see are Pennington's keys to victory? Because I'm just laying out there. I think Silva comes out, bloodies her up, takes her down, round 3, latest, rear naked choke. How do you see Pennington avoiding that? I get she's tough. Like I said, I can't visualize Pennington like getting knocked out, like 30 KO. She's too tough for that. She's proven many, many times. But how does she win? And I don't want to hear a decision.
I'm sorry.
I get to keep the victory, but really another one?
Decision is probably you'll probably get the worst odds on a Raquel decision in terms of the other ways that she can finish it, because that's what she does, I think her keys to victory are going to be, number one, her experience. She needs to use her experience against these tough other veterans and tough other challengers to know when to defend a takedown, to know, what positions to move into to defend the submission. She needs to use her boxing. Just to be keeping Bueno at range, because obviously we don't want Bueno to get close. I think in terms of certain skills, I think she has better certain skills than Raquel. But I think if she can tee her up, and I think the fight is going to be won on the feet. It might be finished elsewhere, as you said, and as your pick is, but I think the fight will be won on the feet. And I think if she can, and number 3, if she can impose her will there and gain respect from Bueno, then we've got a fight, ladies and gentlemen. I do see Raquel.
I don't think she has the power on the feet to earn Silva's respect. I see Bueno taking her shots and just going through her. Again, just for watching some of their past fights and watching the build up, I'm like, at least on the eye, there's a significant power advantage, even on the feet for Bueno. So I'm like, what's Raquel gonna do? That's why I text you what I text you. I was like, I don't think this is gonna be a fight. I think this is gonna be an absolute drubbing.
Oh, no fair dues. And hey, I think maybe I'm going with more my head in this one. Right, Raquel's my girl from day. I've been her day one. So yeah, I think she can do it. Probably a decision, but let's see.
Fair dues. So we will quickly rattle through the rest of 297. So before that, on the main card, we got the return of Neil Magny versus Mike Malott, who's obviously Canadian. Lots of hype around him. He's a good talker on the microphone. Neil Magny ranked 13. Oh, this is welterweight bout. Magny 13. Malott isn't even ranked yet. So this is his opportunity to break into that top 15.
Malott destroys, by the way. Just saying.
What's that?
Malott destroys. Destroys. Now I'm telling you, 2025, when we do our picks for champions,
yeah,
he might get a mention or two from me.
Fair dues. Well, the odds are very much in his favor right now. The younger man as well. So, yeah, I agree. Neil Magny is very much gatekeeper now. But every time you think again, we're not going to make a pick here. We'll just pick the two headliners. But he's one of those where every time you think he's on his way out, he'll deliver a performance where you're like, oh, he's still got a bit. And that's why he's still ranked. Despite him being around for so long and the resume he's got, every time you want to count him out, he's like, what are you saying? What are you saying?
He's there.
Gatekeeper, yeah? Bang. So that's in the back of my mind where he might want to destroy the homecoming.
Full respect.
And after what happened to with obviously Ian Gary, he wants to bounce back, let's be honest.
Not this one, unfortunately, Neil. But yeah, moving on.
And then we got middleweight bout. Action Man, Sean Strickland's BFF, Chris Curtis, back against Marc-Andre Barriault.
Yes.
Interesting
fight. I know Chris Curtis, obviously. Well, I don't know Chris Curtis, but we know Chris Curtis. We've seen it. We've seen him do his thing. I think he's a solid middleweight. I don't see him being an outstanding middleweight. I don't look at him and think, oh yeah, he's going to be the next contender. Barriault, he's had some good finishes. He has. It'll be a tough fight, but actually no picks here, but I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. And then UK's own Arnold opening up the main card, featherweight bout. Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev from Russia. I've never heard of him. I don't think I've ever seen him fight. I'm not going to lie. But Arnold ranked number 4 featherweight against number 9 ranked Movsar.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I've not seen him fight, but I've heard good things about him. So I think this is going to be a tricky fight for Alan. But I think obviously your boy, his boy is back in his own. I think Arnold Allen. I hope he can do the business here really. And
I've got Movsar's favourite at the moment.
Yeah.
I have to do research on him to give. Obviously, he's ranked number 9. Allen's 4, and you're giving a number 9 the favourite tag. That's going to be interesting.
It's true. We'll do some research on that one.
Boom, and then we'll rattle through prelims. Got I think he was on Tough.
Yeah, twice.
Brad Katona versus Garrett Armfield. We've got Charles Jourdain. He is come up with some crazy comments. We'll probably try and cover that in our next social media roundup against Sean Woodson. That's a featherweight bout. And then we've got Shahir Sedeh versus Ramon Tavares, bantamweight bout. Women's strawweight bout, we've got Gillian Robertson versus Poliana Viana, Brazilian. We've got welterweight bout, Johan Lenese versus Sam Patterson from the UK, welterweight bout.
Oh, very interesting.
I'm not going to destroy that name, but we've got a women's flyweight bout. I'm not going to destroy that name either. So we've got Jasmine versus Priscilla. I'm not destroying either of their surnames, just flash them up. And then, wow, I forgot he's Canadian. Yeah, opening up the whole card, Malcolm Gordon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Flyweight, interesting. But obviously, we've covered it. It's all about those 2 title fights. You've heard the picks. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking. I've got Sean, Marty's got DDP, I've got Silver, Marty's got Rocky. So it's a nicely teed up. It's a nice little split, isn't it, for once?
We like it. We like it.
It's all been civilized. You've heard our arguments. Get in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking, who you're backing, and throw in your thoughts if we've missed anything in terms of our kind of pre-fight analysis.
Indeed. We'll love to hear it.
Awesome. But yo, you've been with the King's Court. This is Obasogi.
Yes, your guy Marty.
UFC 297 preview show over and out. Peace.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, so